bad times are imminent. I think that you, as a great general and a war hero, would be a great fit to lead the Federal Army.
Appreciate the offer. We are both good men. I agree with your views, but I simply can't go against my home, sweet Virginia. Me and my men cannot fight against each other. I'm sorry, I just have to fight for my mountain home, Virginia.
Wait.
Both the North and the South had their advantages and disadvantages. The Union outweighed the Confederacy in almost every way. Nearly 21 million people lived in 23 northern states. The South claimed just 9 million people, including 3.5 million slaves. Despite the North's greater population, however, the South had an army almost equal in size to the first year of the war. The South also had a great nucleus of trained officers. 7 of the 8 military colleges in the country were in the South. The North, however, had an enormous industrial advantage. At the beginning of the war, the Confederacy only had 1/9 the industrial capacity of the Union.
Are we moving all these supplies down to Fort Sumter? Aren't we right by the southern border where all those folks who seceded are?
Yeah, it seems like we're teasing them by putting the forts by the border. It seems like something a general would do to call out the first shot. Not too close.
Not my horse!
My horse!
Mr. Lincoln, what shall we do regarding the border states? What should we tell them about the battle?
Make sure to send them some good news in the newspaper. Don't let them know about anything bad. We want them to feel welcome in the Union.
Isn't that a violation of their constitutional rights? That would be a violation of the First Amendment, freedom of speech and press. No?
Whatever it takes to bring the Union back as a whole. By appeasing the border states, we will have the necessary advantages to win the war.
Well said, Mr. Lincoln.
Lincoln violated the Constitution and the First Amendment. His actions restricted speech and the press. Other wartime actions that affected freedom of expression, Lincoln seized telegraph lines and issued an order prohibiting the printing of war news about military movements without approval. The First Amendment states, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press.
That on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within a state, or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free, in the executive government of the United States, including the military and the naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do not act or acts to repress such persons, or any of them, in any efforts they may make for their actual freedom. Let this be true for all rebel states, all partaking in the Civil War, but not for the border states. Nothing happens to my precious border states. Well said.
Wait, weren't you going to talk about slaves and freeing them?
Not much I can actually do. I just said that to get the British away from the South.
The South was led by Lee and had Stonewall Jackson, which would prove to be a deadly combo in Chancellorsville. At the beginning of the Civil War, a bloody conflict arose, the Battle of Fredericksburg, which was a major defeat for the Union Army. The Battle of Fredericksburg on December 13, 1862, involved nearly 200,000 combatants, which was the largest concentration of troops in any Civil War battle. The battle took place over a course of several days from December 11th through December 15th in 1862. Although the Confederates were surprised at the strategy of the Union Army, they were very ready for them. The frontal attack turned out to be a foolish plan, as the Union soldiers were mowed down by Confederate fire. By the end of the day, the Union had suffered so many losses they were forced to retreat. Although the Union vastly outnumbered the Confederates, 120,000 Union men to 85,000 Confederate men, they suffered over twice as many casualties, around 12,000 for the Union and 5,000 for the Confederates. This battle signaled the low point for the war in the Union.
Take a seat, young man.
So what's the plan for Chancellorsville, General Hooker?
Well, considering we greatly outnumber the opponents and we have about double their forces, I'd say this would be a breeze. But I'll probably fight a bit timid this battle. Want some whiskey?
No, thank you.
Okay. Hey, boys.
Oh, hello there.
I'll leave you guys to it.
I say we go for it. Even though we may have half the troops, I think we got this one, Jackson.
I like your aggressive thinking, Lee. I'll help flank Hooker's troops, and I think even though we're outnumbered 1-2, we can easily win Chancellorsville.
I think by far this gonna be one of my best accomplishments.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
This mission so far has been such a success thanks to Lee's aggressive thinking. I like that man. No wonder Lincoln wanted him. I'll be ready. Oh! Friendly fire! Friendly fire! Friendly fire!
While this was a great win for the South and truly Lee's best moments, the Union had also some of its best moments just minutes after. In July 1863, Grant's forces captured Vicksburg, Mississippi, a Confederate stronghold. Grant, who was earning a reputation as a tenacious and determined leader, was appointed lieutenant general by Lincoln on March 10, 1864, and given command of all U.S. armies. He led a series of campaigns that ultimately wore down the Confederate army and helped bring the deadliest conflict in U.S. history to a close. On April 9, 1865, Confederate General Robert Lee surrendered to Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia, effectively ending the Civil War. This just proves how Ulysses S. Grant was an amazing war general and was a considerable factor in the war.
Oh man, over there's my friend Marco's body, and that's my brother. Oh, and there's my cousin too, and my horse is dead. I don't know, Mr. Chamberlain. We're losing a lot of bodies here.
No. I am the Joshua Chamberlain. We need to take our ground and not let the Confederates take this. While soldiers fight at Vicksburg at the river, we must also win here and turn this war around. Any more losses and we might as well give the Confederates the win. Go!
General Sherman, I know we were marching down into Atlanta to choke off the South, but what are we bringing all this fire equipment and torches for?
To burn down the South? Obviously. Who cares about those old war tactics? We're gonna go burn everything down, shoot everyone we see. It's already hot enough in the South anyways.
This total war stuff is kind of scary, Mr. Sherman.
I like it.
The Union then pushed further south up to the courthouse in Virginia, the Appomattox.
You both fought well, Grant. I have to say, you fought very well. I'm gonna have to surrender. Take my sword.
Amen!
Ugh, after the war, I'm finally catching up on sleep again. What a lovely play this is. It even has the famous actor John Wilkes Booth in it. I really wish I could meet him.
This is an awful mean setup for a big house like this. What's the matter? Well, there's no much. Don't raise slapjack. Why does he want to slap?
Please no!
The Civil War came to a conclusion on April 9, 1865. General Lee surrendered as seen at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. This courthouse gained significance as it marked the first steps towards peace in the newly remade Union, and is still a landmark today. Just 6 days later, however, Lincoln was assassinated by famous actor John Wilkes Booth, only 42 days after starting his second term as president. In his place taking over was President Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson took over with an overwhelming task to help peacefully recover the Union. He followed Lincoln's 10% Reconstruction Plan. This plan followed the rule that if 10% of the voters in southern states were to pledge allegiance to the Union, they were to be re-annexed into the Union. This plan allowed the states to once again become whole relatively quickly. While the states may have been able to rejoin easily with that rule, the cultural divide was still very visible. The people in the South were still holding their values, and the 5-year bloody war could not simply be forgotten. John Tyler was disliked by many and as a result was the first president to ever be impeached by the House of Representatives. He vetoed many pro-black laws such as the 14th and 15th Amendment guaranteeing rights to black people, changing the 3/5 to a whole in the Constitution, and was found to be unconstitutional. However, he was not removed from office due to the Senate, so as a result he served the latter portion of his term as a lame duck, not doing much whatsoever. The 14th and 15th Amendments that were passed were also known as the Civil War Amendments. The 14th guaranteed the right to as a person to all women and men, while the 15th guaranteed the right to vote regardless of race. However, there was many loopholes in the South to continue persecution, forcing those who vote to be literate, as many former slaves never received education, was very popular. The KKK was also founded by Confederate veterans, and General Nathan Bedford Forrest was the Grand Wizard. Persecution found a way to persist in the South legally through the Black Codes as well. The Black Codes found in southern states were laws specific to African Americans. They were often had rules such as taxing more, unable to be in public areas without an employer, strict curfews, and as a result, the pay and living conditions of free slaves did not improve much. Overall, while the Civil War was a great first step to ending the persecution and racism against African Americans in America, it was not near enough to end the horrible persecution.
Wait.
Like we're teasing them by having the forts by the border. It seems like something a general would do. Some whiskey?
No, thank you.
Hey,
Of your constitutional rights, that kind of restricts the First Amendment, freedom of speech and press.
What if
boys, want some of this whiskey?
No thanks.
Alright. Hey, boy!
Oh my lord!
No!
Is it still going? Oh no. Over there's my friend's body, Marco. And there's my brother. Oh, and that's my cousin too. And my horse is gone. I don't know, Mr. Chamberlain. We're losing a lot of bodies.
No. I am the Joshua Chamberlain! And we need to